I grew up raised a Jets and Mets fan.
Right.
And my dad didn't push me into the Knicks.
Yeah.
And I always stayed with the Knicks.
Okay.
And that was as bad can get for a long time.
Right.
So I guess I just, enjoy the misery at that point.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Chris Simms Unbuttoned here with Connor Rogers,
That's right.
YouTube Live. Here we are, as usual, on Tuesdays, back together, 2 p.m. Eastern, doing our thing here. You're cursed in a different way. I mean, it's a good week for you this week and a magical win for the Jets.
Rare.
I'm starting to think I'm cursed. We're cursed as Giant fans a little bit, even though it's good and exciting. The Denver loss, right? Then Scatterboo and the way that goes down, that kind of stinks, right, every day. But we still got plenty of good times and good football to talk about. We're going to break it all down here. We got lots of stuff coming. And look at you in your, Johnny Suede Texas Longhorn burnt orange jacket today.
The Matthew McConaughey.
Wow, look at you. Right. All right.
I'll go for that. Yeah. Honestly, it's where we do fantasy football happy hour. The studio's freezing, which I like.
Yeah.
But it's, more normal in here.
Yeah.
So.
In here, it's actually a tad warm sometimes.
It is.
With all the lights we have and the screens and everything.
There's a lot going on.
And I definitely at the end of the pod at times, I'm like, holy crap, I might start sweating here soon.
This is the prime time
watch it.
studio.
Gotta
you
watch
definitely
it here.
feel the lights.
Yeah,
but a lot going on, man. We're going to get to Monday Night Football, of course, to kick things off here, but we have a ton of great stuff planned. The film review, Eagles' run game finally shows some real signs of life.
I think we got some stuff to talk about there.
You dived into that tape, so schematically we're going to break down what was different and what was working, and a bigger conversation about traditional rushing offenses. Not just, they're in man coverage and the quarterback runs for 30 yards with their backs turned, but the actual run game with the running backs and schematically.
Exactly right. I think that gets lost in translation sometimes in the NFL, right, with raw stats. People look at it and go, well, this team's the best rushing team. And it's like, well, they have a running quarterback. When I think about a running football team, I'm talking about we can line up and run it at you and have success even when the defense knows we're going to line up and run it at you, with a running back coming downhill and doing that. And that, to me, is the best way to run the football and create other plays off of it. So, that's going to be cool to break down, Connor.
Before we get there, though, Monday Night Football, Chris. An interesting first half.
Yeah.
And then the wheels kind of fell off the bus as the Chiefs win at home 28-7 over a depleted Commanders team. Patrick Mahomes, it was just the tale of two halves here. I mean, you look at the first half, 8 of 15. He throws the two picks that you could really argue weren't necessarily on him.
I mean, they're not egregious.
Yes,
right?
yes. But the second half, he couldn't miss.
17 for 19.
Yep.
Right? I don't know. How many damn yards did he have?
Well, he averaged over 11 yards per attempt.
Hey.
We call that the USC offense.
Yeah.
Right? That's
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It is. They're in a groove passing the ball right now. Early on in the game is your perfect scenario of what we always talk about. A team that came in motivated. They know they're playing the Chiefs or a good football team.
Right.
They had some good things. I don't care about the 7 points. I continue to be impressed with Cliff Kingsbury's offense, right? I really do. They attacked Kansas City's defense at first, and you could tell they had them in some binds as far as they didn't know what to do with some of the quarterback runs. Of course, they run the ball pretty good the traditional way as well, and he knows how to use the quarterback off of that, and then also little bubble screens or screen RPOs too to kind of keep you honest there. So I am impressed. But again, we see this every week. There's a few games where you go, wait, one team kind of controlled the early part of the football game. They didn't capitalize on their control, and they let the team that's better, especially, now kind of find their way, figure out how they're being played, and all of a sudden things explode. I mean, Washington, right? First drive, nice drive, boom, off of Deebo Samuel's head. That player lets him down. Second drive, I believe, was the Zach Ertz. We thought he had the first down on fourth down, right? Just short,
yep.
Right?
We had the digital review.
Yes, right. We had the digital review, which was interesting. Really was, right? And then you had the next drive, I believe, they get down in field goal position. And again, I know I'm Johnny kick a field goal and play that game. You're a defensive coach. Let's get some positive stuff going. We have a 4th and 1 in field goal range, and we throw a go route to Terry McLaurin against a team that we know plays good man-to-man and is not just going to avoid the deep part of the football field, right? I'm in favor of attacking the deep part of the football field and the short yardage, but I don't think that opportunity really looked, or Kansas City ever shows that they're vulnerable to that type of stuff. So I didn't like that either. But there you go. You do that. You don't capitalize, and then you get towards the end of the half, and you feel like, oh, okay, here Kansas City's starting to figure out what and how they're being played in Washington and continue to kind of expose them from that point on.
I mean, those situations, Chris, really turned the tides of the game. 4th downs, the Commanders, as you said, they were 0 for 2.
Right.
The Chiefs were 2 for 2. And you hear Dan Quinn after the game, going into this game, we were going to be bolder on 4th. This is a game where you've got to live on the edge. If you're going to come here and get a win, it's not going to be with a bunch of field goals.
That's what everybody says.
I know. That's
the new thing to say.
Yeah.
Why? You were in a defensive struggle football game early on. Take points.
Right.
I just don't understand that. I really don't. Do something to give your team a positive vibe. Now, the 4th and 6 where Ertz barely gets it, I can understand them going for it there because it probably would have been a 56, 57-yard field goal, maybe even more than that. So that's okay. But the last one, especially when you go Debo off your face, we missed another 4th down opportunity. All right, it's 4th and 1. Let's get something so we can run to the sidelines and go, yeah, we're up 3-0. We got a little mojo going here. Right? So that's what I don't love about that. And at the end of the day, you again see that the Kansas City Chiefs, I think early on offense, right? Kansas City wants to throw the ball short right now. That's what they are.
Right.
They want to be surgical. Boom, 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 boom. And we know Washington, they're going to play man-to-man. And I think early on, they played man-to-man and had like a free guy kind of in areas where like Mahomes is like, oh, I want to throw it quick. Wait, the coverage is kind of sticky. Ooh, and they dropped a guy here or had a safety in the way of where to throw it. So at first, I think it took them. And then also in the Seattle 3 type of defense that Dan Quinn runs with Joe Woods there and all that too, they play zones that look like man as well. And, you could have 3 receivers to the right and all the secondary, and this is where they're cool. And, we'll talk about Saleh and DeMeco Ryans. They do the same kind of thing. It's a zone defense that kind of looks like man. They might have 3 receivers to the right. All the guys in the zone will play for the outbreaking routes.
Right.
And you'll have an outbreaking route called and go, oh, no, nothing's there. And yet they'll still have some guys on the inside floating around just in case somebody goes on the inside as well. I feel like it took Kansas City a little while to figure out how do we stretch out these creative zones they have and how they're playing us in and out in these situations. And slowly but surely they figured it out and started to explode on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, they threw cover 6 at them 7 times, which is a pretty high rate to try to trick them of, okay, what's the cover 2 side?
Exactly right.
Deep quarter side.
Right. And then quarter side, you can play little elements of like, how you want to play that leverage there as far as are we expecting inside post type breaking routes or are we expecting, hey, safety and corner play outside? We're expecting an out route and a corner route on top of that. So they're good at playing, telltale signs or things that we always say are kind of predictable with an offense through their studies and breaking it down. That's where I always admire, the Seattle 3 scheme and how they break other offenses down.
So we talked about how it was a tale 2 halves for Mahomes, and this was really a different style of game for him. We've praised him a lot for the quick game, what the offense can do. You look at next-gen stats, though.
Yeah, it wasn't that all the way.
It was not.
No.
He averaged 2.95 seconds to throw. That's his longest of the season. His throws over 4 seconds. He was 8-9 for 149 yards and 3 touchdowns, which is telling you more backyard kind of stuff.
That's exactly it.
Right, and then the last nugget here on this is he scrambled on a season-high 28.2% of his dropbacks. On those, he was 4 for 6, 52 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also added 31 yards on the ground. So this was actually more of the wild man backyard Mahomes than we've seen.
It was, but I think also what creates that still is their elite ability to throw the short passing game. So now, okay, we got 7 guys in coverage. What's one of the problems with Washington right now? They can't rush the passer with 4. So they wanted to stop all these quick routes. And this is where I get into, I loved what Troy Aikman was saying last night on the telecast. I don't know if anybody sees the field better than Patrick Mahomes. Really. I mean, it's incredible. We talk about the gift he has every now and then. Him, Allen, Lamar, Burrow, right? To me, what separates them is they can move in the pocket and be moving around and do this and see the pass rush, and yet they keep an eye on coverage downfield.
Right.
It's incredible.
There's no panic.
There's no panic.
Yeah.
And it's a rare ability that we're seeing more and more players have it. To me, Aaron Rodgers was the first guy that could really do it at a high level where you were like, holy shit, he sees the pass rusher and he's seeing the coverage at the same time, right? And as we know, great quarterbacks usually break barriers to where now the young guys coming up the ranks go, wait, I want to do that. I can do that. And they start trying it in high school and college. I'm watching my son do it in high school right now. He's dropping back and looking at the coverage, looking at the rush. Oh, wait, I have time. And then I'm like, damn, I mean, that's advanced for a freshman playing JV football. But they see Mahomes and these guys doing it. So they try it.
That's who they're watching.
Right, it is.
It's how you grow up. What athletes you watch and you want to emulate.
No doubt. I wanted to be Troy Aikman.
Right.
I'm going to be big in the pocket and throw strikes all the time, just like my dad or Troy Aikman. That's what I thought I would be. But, yeah, I think, again, going into how they played them, he went, oh, wait, I want to throw it. Oh, it's not there. There's a guy dropping, whatever. It's a little too tight. I don't want to throw a quick throw. The ball gets tipped in the air, like we saw happen one time. So he just went, oh, I'll buy time. And we're the best at scramble drill in football, and they're not the best at covering for a long time. They're not that great man-to-man altogether in Washington, in my opinion. But, yes, he did that approach last night, and that's just what's incredible. So you couple that with, wait, they can't rush the passer, or, wait, now they have to blitz to rush him, and now he will get the ball out of his hand quickly, or he gets out of the pocket right away, and then he runs and does that as well. Mahomes was on his game last night, especially in the second half, like you said, incredible. He's freaking amazing. He really is.
Two things that stand out for me with Mahomes right now. One, he looks as athletic as I've ever seen. I don't know if he lost some weight this offseason.
He 100% did.
His mobility, his flexibility.
I know he did. He told me that was going to be something he went into the offseason with. It was
very evident.
And I think he got sick of everybody making fun of his dad bod for the last 2 years. He did. Yeah. And I also think he realized, like, hey, I could tighten up a little bit.
Right.
He's the ultimate gym rat self-evaluator. Where can we get better? Where can I get better? Right? His attitude and the way he looks at the game and looks at himself is, I've been fortunate enough to be around him a few times to just, more than a few times in my life, where he just has a tremendous outlook and he's a tremendous leader, and they're in the groove right now there in Kansas City.
The second thing is, it feels like, Chris, and you predicted this over the summer, he came out running so much the first month of the season that I now think teams are in the...
They're worried about it.
Damned if we do, damned if we don't.
I think so, too.
It's almost like if I come out of the gate the first 4 weeks and show I'm as good a running threat as any of the top quarterbacks in the league besides Lamar, now you have to allocate attention to it, and the field seems so freaking wide open because of it.
You watch film 4 weeks in a row, you go, wait, okay, the weapons aren't healthy, Rashee Rice isn't here, whatever. He's going to do what he has to do, but defensive coordinators are going, man, there's that element. I got to have somebody here to watch him scramble. We got to keep some eyes on him at some point. And, of course, he adjusts your pass rush, too, which is the worst part about it and why he can buy time, because now they scrambles a few times, and the defensive coordinator comes over, hey, we got to stay. Let's not run past them. Let's make sure we keep them there.
Rush integrity.
But then they're pretty good at blocking like that. So then he's like, oh, I got all day now. Now you're worried about me running, and I faked a little, but now I sit here. Like the big throw he had to Kelsey on the corner route, right? That, to me, was that kind of play. He kind of made a move, and the whole D-line was like, all right, let's just sit here. He's going to run. And then he was just like, no, I'll just keep sitting here. Oh, boom, there. Finally, we figured out how to mess up your zone, your Seattle scheme a little bit, and you let Travis Kelsey open down the football field, right? And that's what's incredible. I think between Kelsey looking a little bit better, but damn, Rashee Rice, there's just no denying what he does for their offense, right?
Well,
he's a real playmaker. Right?
Yeah, the chat is weighing in on that. And a reminder to everybody, we're live every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Chris Simms Unbuttoned, and you could watch on the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. Viking fan 28-4, Chris, is asking exactly that. Can you go in depth on how Rashee Rice's return / schematic changes have resurrected the Kansas City offense?
Yeah, well, I think the big thing is, one, you can throw him balls over the middle or in the short game, and he gets yards after catch because, one, he's explosive, and then, two, he's big, right? You've seen Rashee Rice in person before. I don't think people really realize what kind of a big specimen he is.
He's broad.
He's broad. He's got some legs and some butt on him, right? Arm tackles aren't going to take him down. He has that aspect, right? They're good at featuring guys, so they come up with ways to go, okay, here's a play for Rashee Rice. They hit it a bunch of times. We know defenses start to go, damn, Rashee Rice is in this formation. We need to stop him, keep our eyes on him. That opens up Kelsey on certain plays. That opens up Xavier Worthy versatility. I think that's the other aspect. The other thing is what you saw, I believe that was the first interception he was throwing to Rashee Rice too, right? Was that not, am I wrong?
The second one was not Rashee Rice,
No,
so I'm pretty sure the first
one was, right?
You had the
Lattimore?
You had the Kelsey tip pass.
Yes, right.
And then the second one, that was not Rashee Rice.
It wasn't Rashee Rice
No.
on the corner route there down by the end?
back shoulder.
Back shoulder.
I don't think it was.
I know. I can't remember either. But my point was going to be that he also is a guy where Mahomes can feel comfortable about throwing back shoulders and when he's covered that way. I think that's the big thing. But when you talk about we got to be elite at something, they become elite at the short passing game, and then they become elite at the short passing game feeding Rashee Rice, and now you start to see, oh, wait, teams worry about him, and it opens up other things on the football field. And, of course, he's just a physical specimen who can make plays, and I think that's the big thing that he brings to that offense more than anything.
That was Hollywood Brown.
It was Hollywood on that one. Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
It's been wild to watch just how reinvigorated and confident they look with him on the field.
Yes.
With Rice, it's like, oh, now good luck.
Right. Well, as I told you off air, on air, the phrase I kept getting from people I talked to in Kansas City when he was getting close to be back was, hey, they told me, don't judge us quite yet.
Right.
Wait till Big Dog gets back. Wait till the Big Dog gets back. That's how they referred to Rashee Rice to me. So, yeah, they obviously know how important he is, how freaky he is as a football player. And as we know with anything, once you become elite and you show, all right, we're elite at a scheme and we have a player elite, it starts to change the way defenses can play you. And he's clearly their best receiver. And I like this other question, too, here by Vikings fan 284.
Yeah, that was
the Bumpa B, right? He says, should teams just man up against Kansas City and take away the short game and force the Chiefs wide receivers to win? This is where Kansas City's good, all right? So, yes, I would say that. But Kansas City, where they are creative, and you got to be careful with how much you play man-to-man, especially with Rashee Rice, because he can run by you.
Right.
And Xavier Worthy can run by you still. We know that. But where also they're really good is little pick and rub plays. So it's like if you overdo it, they'll start to get formations where they'll go, fine, play us man-to-man. Good luck trying to sort out us in a stack set or a bunch here where we're all going to switch and crisscross. Good luck trying to figure all that out, right? That's where they're really good. Or they get into the RPOs a little bit and they find the vulnerable guy in the man-to-man situation where they go, oh, wait, he's covering a guy man-to-man, but like we talked about, I think last week, but he's responsible for the D-gap too. So if we fake at him, he's got to be there to stop the D-gap run. Oh, wait, yeah, good job stopping the D-gap run. We have an RPO. Boom, we're going to throw this guy. You're supposed to cover him man-to-man too. And that's where Kansas City's very good. Kansas City knows how to adjust and figures out how they're being played pretty quickly, right? And I think that's what you saw at the end of the first half in the last night, and then it carried over into the third quarter, of course.
And I think to that example, this is why they drafted Xavier Worthy, right? Where like, hey, you're playing man-to-man now. Well, we didn't have to use him a lot last night, but you want to go man-to-man against us, we can get over the top of you.
I think that's where it comes in.
Presence of a player like that.
It comes in handy that way, right? And Xavier Worthy, yeah, he's scary. I don't think he's as scary as 4.29 as maybe we thought he would be, right? But he's still scary. And then you couple that with Hollywood Brown, too, who's not a big-time burner, but still can beat you deep and do that. Yeah, it's a nice little thing they got. And then they just dash in a little Pacheco here and there and do that and a screenplay here and there. And everything is working pretty awesome right now in Kansas City.
I know the raw numbers aren't pretty, but how would you grade Mariota's performance filling in for Jaden Daniels?
I mean, Marcus Mariota,
fine.
he played really well, really well. Marcus Mariota, okay. I mean, I always have a pet peeve about how he went out in Atlanta.
Yep.
You know that he quit on the Atlanta Falcons, but damn, he is still one of the better backups in football. And what I kept saying last night to my wife and my son as we were watching the game, I was just like, I can't believe in year 11 he can still run like this. Right. That's the impressive thing. And made some really nice throws. He's not an elite thrower of the football, but you saw him make some damn good throws last night, and if you're open, he'll hit it. that was a game I feel like his frustration showed in the late third quarter because he was like, man, we had this. Like, everything was going okay here.
Yeah.
And, the one time he got sacked and he slammed it on the ground. Slammed it. Right.
I actually haven't really seen him that emotional. I don't know.
It was kind of cool to see.
Yes, it was.
But I think he knew, like, man, we kind of had them early on.
Right.
And they're not dominating us right now. We're just missing a play here and there and messing up every now and then. And gosh damn it, the Kansas City Chiefs are pulling away from us where it felt like the game was even for a big chunk of the football game.
So the Commanders find themselves in a little bit of a hole right now. And let's be fair, Jaden Daniels being hurt multiple times this year is part of that.
Hurt them, right?
The defense, though, I think is
the problem.
It doesn't have enough talent.
No, it
When
does
you
not.
watch this defense, you look at it and go like, man, like who's out there covering who? Let's take a look at the rest of their schedule,
Yeah,
Chris.
please.
I mean, I think the
Let's
question
do it.
right now Commanders fans have, because they are plus 375 to make the playoffs, which means the books do not think they will. Is there any pathway for them to get on a heater here?
I don't see it.
I don't either.
Now, before the year, I was like, I don't expect the Commanders to be the same football team. I believe I picked them to be the 7 seed in the NFC. But I was questionable. I thought the stars aligned perfectly with them last year. Rookie star quarterback, little energy bump from new head coach.
Right. Who's
last
known
place,
for that.
Right. Who's known for energy. That's what he
Yes.
is. Last place schedule, right, in the NFC. Few shamrocks up their ass a few times
Right.
during the season as we went away. And that's, and then they caught a little fire. But no, I'd be worried about them. I mean, again, this week against the Seahawks, that's scary. That's not a good matchup for Washington. Not at all. And then the Lions after that? No, as we sit here right now, I would tell you that I don't think the Washington Commanders are going to the playoffs this year. I just don't see it.
Yeah, it feels like kind of a, not really a sophomore slump because Jaden's been fine when he's healthy, but
Yeah.
just the entire organization.
Exactly
a little
right.
bit of like a hangover
Yeah,
from
exactly
a great year.
right. Yes.
And some things just haven't gone their way, but
We see that happen a lot.
It does.
We see that happen a lot. And it's, also, okay, up the schedule. We've studied you. Everybody in football studied you a little bit. Yeah, you do have that tougher schedule that way. Everybody in the NFC East and whatever else. Okay, wait, Dan Quinn. Okay, he's playing it like this now. Let's figure that out. I think that all of that has happened to them. And as we know, too, the NFC is just stacked.
Oh, it's
stacked.
ridiculous.
I mean, there's so many damn good football teams right now. And, yeah, I don't think Washington's in the same class as the teams that are in the playoffs right now.
there's just not the same bottom feeders in the NFC.
No, there's
like
not.
Even
I
when
think
you play we always say when you play the Saints, it's not a gimme.
No, not at all.
As
If
a
that's the
one-win
worst team in the NFC, that's incredible. The
Right.
Giants are the second to worst team in the NFC.
And the Giants can beat anybody.
Exactly.
They've done it multiple times.
Arizona
Right.
and Washington, those are your 4 bottom feeders. It's a pretty tough bottom 4 there as compared to the AFC where I'd go, no, the Browns, the Dolphins, and the Jets, and the Tennessee Titans, and the Raiders.
Different
and
tier.
we'll see Cincinnati get to that too, I think.
Right.
You just
They
go,
just lost the Jets.
Right. We can beat all those teams, right?
Yeah.
And so it is different that way.
To put a bow on this combo,
Yeah.
I want to go back to where we started.
Yeah,
You were
cool.
giving Cliff Kingsbury praise.
Yeah.
Do you think he gets head coaching looks this
I
offseason?
definitely do.
I think so too.
That was one of the things I was going to text this to the group last night. But yes, I would say out of offensive minds that should be available after this year, I cannot see how Cliff Kingsbury would not be at the top of the list. Cliff Kingsbury went away from a year from the NFL football, and he came back, and he definitely reinvented himself a little bit with how he plays, more run game creativity, play action pass creativity, the way he packages plays. It's all different than Arizona. And here we are again in year 2, where I used to, in Arizona, always go, this time of the year, everyone starts to figure out Cliff Kingsbury and what he does. I have not found that to be the case last year, and I don't find it to be the case this year either.
Another thing that I think has gone his way quietly is how he's looked developing Jaden Daniels, while Kyler Murray has not been great now for 2 years.
He's gone the other way.
Right. So everyone's like, was Cliff a little hamstrung by the quarterback, and we put it all on Cliff?
Yeah, there could be some of that.
So-
I know, you're right. And I think people will probably look at that and give Cliff a fair shake in that conversation there and certainly wonder the same thing.
Let's look at the playoff odds for the 2024 playoff teams from DraftKings. The Bills, a near lock, as are the Packers, Bucks, Lions, Eagles, and Rams, and the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Gets a little bit more interesting on the back end. Can the Texans make a push
Right, can
here?
they-
And we're
can-
going to
can
talk
they
about the
hang in?
Texans
Yeah,
plenty.
right.
The Commanders are, not shockingly, but they're way off the board right now in
Yep.
an NFC that's highly competitive. And then you have teams like, the Steelers that are kind of Plus 125 is a coin flip.
Yeah.
Like a true coin flip.
I hear you. I look at the NFC and go, out of the 7 teams in the playoffs right now, I feel like 6 of them are going to go. They're in. It's a lock, right?
Right.
I look at Green Bay, right, that we got in right now. Green Bay, Philly, Tampa, Seattle, Detroit, the Rams.
Yep.
They're going to the playoffs. They're all going to the playoffs.
The odds will agree with you.
The 49ers at number 7 and where they are, that's, to me, the only dicey spot. That's the only one. Well, the Bears, can Atlanta make another run here? Somebody like that. I would favor the 49ers in that conversation out of those teams. But, yes, I have Seattle in there
You have
already.
Seattle in.
Seattle,
Okay.
out of the teams that are in right now.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Right? Out of the teams that are in right now, I think 6 of the 7 that are in right now are definitely going to stay in, and they're not going anywhere. Right? So that's where it's going to be slim pickings in the NFC. The AFC, no, I still think there's some meat left on the bone. I'm not going to cancel out Houston like you talked about. Sure. I'm not ready to cancel out Jacksonville quite yet. And I'm not ready to cancel out the Baltimore Ravens quite yet. Not with their schedule coming up, the way their defense looked, and Lamar Jackson's going to be back Thursday night. All right? So that's where I think there's still some stuff to be had in the AFC playoff picture right now.
Yeah, neither are the odds. The Ravens are still somehow minus 140 despite being 2-5. So they're buying in on the schedule and Lamar's return.
I know we're going to talk about the Ravens for tomorrow's pod, and we're going to hit on that. And
what looks different.
The defense definitely looks different, and that's where you're going to give them a fighting chance there.
We're going to take a quick break, but we're looking at how the Eagles jump-started their run game this weekend against the Giants right after this.
DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL, and new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download the app and use promo code CORNERBACK when you sign up. DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours.
The NBA on NBC and Peacock. It's the primetime debut of Coast to Coast Tuesday tonight. We got Knicks Bucks at 8 Eastern time, followed by Clippers Warriors.
It's incredible.
I mean, it's awesome.
Incredible. I mean, I got to give our company actually a lot of props on this one.
It looked amazing.
It looked amazing. I mean, Mike Tirico, I think, is amazing at basketball and doing it. Our graphics and intro, there's nobody that can compete with how NBC's intros look.
I totally agree.
Right?
And then when you hear Mike's voice, it just feels like a huge event.
It's an event. Exactly
Yes.
right. It's like, damn, that's Mike Tirico.
Right.
Holy crap, this is big. Let me sit here for a second and pay attention to what the hell's going on because Mike Tirico's there. And then I think also to have a West Coast late game is a brilliant idea. I mean, it's Tuesday night. Nobody's watching Jack Diddley shit on TV.
No.
So
there's no action yet.
Yeah, right. So like, let's say, okay, West Coast, we're throwing you a bone too. Nobody ever puts a main game on a major network for West Coast viewing TV. And so to do that on a Tuesday night and all that, that is pretty cool.
I got to tip my cap to you. We're live, and you've done such a good job keeping the F-bombs in the holster.
Yeah.
Jack Diddley shit instead.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few times where I've stopped myself and I'm like, wait, no, that's not the F word. I can say that. So I go with it, right?
You're doing great.
Yeah, I'm trying, man. It's a tough one. You know, when I get in this setting, I want to drop F-bombs. Sorry, but I can't do that on YouTube or they'll cut us off, everybody.
All right, the Week 8 film review. The Eagles finally jumpstart this run game, and of course, it was Saquon against the G-Men.
Yeah.
It couldn't be any other way.
Thank you so much, Saquon in Philadelphia. Thank you very much, Miss Lippy.
I mean, you know where we have to start. The 65-yard touchdown, Chris. Fluke or difference?
No, not fluke. And I think here's the first thing, and this is why I love the Eagles in a lot of ways. You come into the game and you go, well, the Giants are beat up in the secondary. They're gonna throw the ball at us. And Philadelphia was like, screw that. We don't give a damn about what you are. If we're just going to play the way we want to play, and we'll still kick your ass. And so they come into the game where I'm thinking, oh, man, they're going to try to throw the ball. Our secondary is not normal. They come out in the game, they go, nah, actually, we're going to play 3 tight ends. And one of them is going to be an extra lineman. Now we're going to play 2 tight ends, and one of the tight ends is going to be an extra lineman. We're actually going to line up and go, screw you, and we're going to smash your face in and create a little bit of an attitude. And that's what I like, because I hate that shotgun run game all the time.
Right.
It doesn't allow people to come downhill. It doesn't allow the running back to come downhill. And you're limited in your scheme and what you can do out of those formations. It's at least run game scheme. That's what I'm talking about. So they're big, heavy people sets, right? And then getting underneath the freaking center. Getting underneath the center. That's where it starts. So, do you want to jump right into that 65-yard run and look what happened a little bit
I
here?
absolutely do, but I want to follow up all your points, which
cool.
is the differences schematically.
Yeah.
Lined up on, this is all per next-gen stats, lined up under center on 36.8% of plays. That's the second highest rate under Nick Sirianni. That's behind their Week 7 win versus the Vikings. 10.6 yards per carry from under center. That's the highest of any team this season. Going back to the jumbo look, they use 6+ offensive linemen on over 17% of their plays. Again, that's the second highest under Sirianni besides that Week 7 game against the Vikings.
Yeah.
8 rushes, 114 yards, and a touchdown when running at a jumbo.
It's awesome. And within those jumbo sets, right, I feel like I saw more man blocking schemes.
Well, you absolutely did.
Okay.
Yeah, I have it all in front of me.
Good, because there was definitely more pulling center, pulling guard. You saw my notes.
Yep.
Again, I don't look at the numbers, but I just went, it feels like we're doing more of that, which I love, right? Instead of inside zone right, inside zone left, outside zone left, outside zone right. I mean, after a while, people learned how to defend that, so they were way up there in that department as well.
Yeah, Saquon had 6 rushing attempts with a pole lead.
Oh, the pole lead.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So, and then
Tank Bigsby had probably a few as well,
Tank Bigsby did. He had 3 with the polar, and then Tank also had 5 that were just downhill man
Let's
concept.
double people, and then we'll go up to the next level and kick some butt there.
That is exactly right.
And
they really got away from the constant zone running.
Hopefully that's what they are reevaluated.
Here's the funniest part. So they were amazing in this game running the football, but then you look at the 4 inside zone carries to Saquon.
Right.
They average 3 yards per carry. But the other ones are like 12 yards a carry, 10 yards a carry.
Well, when people prepare for Philly, they're coached up on it. They're going, you're going to get inside zone. You're going to get inside zone. So everybody's ready for that. That's where it's a great way to reevaluate what you're doing on the offensive side of the ball. As we know, they don't need to reinvent the wheel in Philadelphia. They just need a little sprinkle of creativity here and there. I think these sets that we're talking about, I formation, power sets, one are going to get Saquon going downhill, feeling good, and it gives your offensive line some attitude off of that. And that's where it's awesome. And it started. The 65-yard touchdown run was not a puller or anything like that.
No.
Was more of the one you just talked about.
Downhill,
We're going to create an attitude right away in the football game, get hats on hats, doubles, and then we're going to just push you around that way. And then I think you couple that with, on this 65-yard touchdown run, it's a heavy set, right? There's 3 tight ends to the right, basically, and one of those tight ends is the tackle, Fred Johnson, number 74, and the Giants don't align right. And I don't know if we have that picture. I think we do, Pete, right, where we could show this picture.
All 22 stills.
Yeah, okay.
Right here. So here's the end zone view.
So everybody on YouTube here, you're watching. If you're just listening on a normal podcast, audio version here. All right, we got our 5 down offensive linemen. 74, as I told you, Fred Johnson is playing the traditional tight end spot on the right. And then we have, and I was wrong. I thought it was 3 tight ends. It's 2 tight ends here, so it's 12 heavy.
Well, you counted the jumbo lineman as a part of 13 personnel.
Right, right. So, and then we have Calcaterra, I think, right off of his edge there. And then we have Darius Cooper right off of his edge. So it looks like there's 3 tight ends to your right side. Now, look at how the Giants are lined up here. The Giants are in what we call an over front, right? The 3 technique is to the strong side. And then they have a Sam linebacker on the ball on the strong side. On this one, it is Burns, Brian Burns, who's your Sam stand-up linebacker. The problem with the Giants here is if you're going to line up like this, and look at the 2 middle linebackers, the 2 stand-up backers, one's on the left hash, the other one's on the right there, right? Okay, if you're going to line up like that, then a safety has to insert on the weak side, somewhere between the guard and the tackle, all right? If you're not going to have the safety come down, where they're trying to play kind of cover 4 here, those stand-up backers can't be kicked over that strong. They can't. You got to have somebody on the weak side. And see, Philly must have seen something to go, they overplay the strong side of these runs when we get in these formations. They overplay it. And now here, what you're going to see as we go to a next picture, and I don't want you to go there yet, Pete, is just the center and the center and your left guard are going to take on Roches, right? I think it's him here.
They're going to double the
shade nose on the left there. And then Landon Dickerson is going to go up off of the double and get on that linebacker right there on the left hash, okay? And within that, okay, because the linebackers are 2 kicked over and that weak side linebacker who's basically over the center is so kicked to the strong side, it makes it very easy for the double and Landon Dickerson to get up there and cut him off. And now you have a deep safety in Nubin who's playing cover 4. He's not expecting to come up so aggressively, and he kind of gets stuck in no man's land where it's like, oh, wait, Saquon's coming at me 1,000,000 miles per hour. I don't know what the hell to do. Right. He gets caught flat-footed, and you can't keep up with him. Right? So that was how that started off right there, and that gave them some attitude and some confidence, and, of course, it kind of continued for the rest of the football game.
Yeah, and even Devontae Smith does his job on this play as a blocker where he seals off the corner.
Yeah, right.
So that's why Nubin was on the island.
Nubin was all by himself.
Not expecting an outside corner to make the stop on this play, but he was just a non-factor.
Non-factor, but didn't even have a chance. And you know, I don't know if they expect Nubin, who you could see him at the top left of the screen. You could see a shadow there, right? I don't know if they expected him to come down quickly, but at the same time, I feel like they were probably playing him there because they're afraid. Wait, I mean, Devontae Smith might run something deep. We need to help out our corner a little bit. So they're trying to have the best of both worlds here. But the alignment and how they line up to this strong side formation on the right side was just not correct, and it made it very easy for this play to succeed.
So this is a situation, Chris, where the depth of the safety also hurts him here.
Yeah,
and Nubin's not the fastest guy.
No, he's not at all.
That's not his game.
That's what I'm saying. The depth definitely hurts it.
So they were almost respecting the threat of them throwing the ball to the point where it absolutely killed them.
I think so. I think in this one they're going, hey, we're going to play run defense, but we're going to kind of play pass coverage on the back end. And I don't know if they expect Nubin to read this quicker and get up there quicker to be a part of it. I don't know that. Those are the things that are just little nuances I'm not sure. But that's a tough ask, too, to expect him to do that if he's being told, hey, we want you to watch out for Devontae here. Our corner's going to play outside leverage. If he runs a post, you got to stop him, right? And so that's where you don't know what was said, how he's coached that way. But either way, this alignment wasn't good enough to stop this play. That's for sure.
And Fred Johnson is the jumbo. I mean, he's 6'7", 330 pounds.
Right. So now we have, I know we now have Cam Jurgens isn't playing right now, but we got Mailata, who's 360. You got Landon Dickerson, who's 335 at left guard.
Looks it.
Right. You got Steen at right guard, who's 325, 330.
That sounds about right.
And then Landon, and then the damn Johnson, the right tackle. Lane Johnson. I was going to say Landon Johnson. I couldn't figure out the name. Lane Johnson is 315.
Johnson and Johnson on the right side.
Johnson and Johnson on the right side. Exactly right. So that's where it's cool. And then they got into other formations throughout the game, too, where they had fullbacks in and did all that type of stuff. I love the new look from the Philadelphia Eagles. And if they just continue to do this and dabble within the normal scheme of the other stuff they do, and what we saw in this football game, too, is play action pass off of these type of formations. Whoo, man, they're going to be tough to stop when they do this type of stuff here.
Even more impressive, I think that's Brett Toth, the backup center that had to play in this game.
Right.
And he did a really good job against Dexter Lawrence.
He definitely did. And they pulled him and made him move a lot, and he did a really good job doing that as well. I had forgotten he was starting in this football game, but they didn't miss a beat. He's not Cam Jurgens, but they didn't miss a beat. That's for sure.
I believe we have another screenshot of this run. And we can keep
all right, cool. Yeah, there we go.
So this is where it opens up. And
damn, Pete, about time you got to the picture. What are you going to – I mean, we talked about the double team 95 times. I said, let's talk of the next picture. All right, but see,
I'll
now you
here,
see,
don't worry.
You see the double team there, right? So it was perfect double team. They move that shade nose, which I believe that was Nunez Roches, right?
I'll have it up.
They
for you.
move him. And you could see the double moves him, and then that weak side linebacker we talked about, now he's totally blocked off. Like, yeah, good luck trying to run through Landon Dickerson right there. Saquon knew that. He was told to look for the cutback lane if they lined up like that. And as you see, he finds it, and it's go, rockets up your ass, and he's out of there for a touchdown.
Yeah, so that front from the Giants, that is, you're right. The shade nose is Raheem Nunez Roches.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and then you see here, right, where Connor was explaining this before, but here's Nubin now like, oh gosh, I'm 10 yards off the ball, and he's running at me full speed, and he can go inside or outside on me. This is one here where Nubin's in a no-win situation. What I would tell him is just when you see this, just go down and like a kamikaze and just throw your body and hope he trips over your, a hand, a leg,
slow
something.
Him down a little bit
just
for someone else.
Just to make him like lose his
prey.
Yes, right. To make him make a cut or break down just a little so somebody else can do it. But either way, no one was envying the position he's in right there.
So that was it. It was off to the races for Saquon, and the problem is he's one of the guys like Jahmyr Gibbs that can break that, like an angle eraser. To a guy like Nubin that's been I liked Nubin as a prospect.
I do too.
I'll be the first to say it.
Right.
But that's been the problem with him is the angles, and I'm not blaming him on that one, but he's been put in tough spots.
He's
and
in the box safety.
Yes.
That's when he was best at Minnesota 100%. In college, was when he's in the box, stopping the run around the line of scrimmage. When he was in coverage, you were like, okay. Like he's got some instincts, but he's just not athletic enough in those areas. And then like you said, Saquon's part of a handful of guys in the NFL at the running back position. And I'm just going to throw it out here right now, just off the top of my head. Hey, Saquon, James Cook, Jonathan Taylor, Breece Hall, Devon Achane, Jahmyr Gibbs. You said him. I mean, I feel like after you get after that, it's guys that can go 80 yards to the house. Like those are the main guys in football that can do that, right? I know like Derrick Henrys of the world can go 40 and 50, but 80 to the house and 70 to the house, I don't know if that's much of their game anymore. A lot of good running backs. Christian McCaffrey, I know he could go 30, 40 to the house. Do I think he can go 70 and 80 to the house like those guys I just talked about? No, I don't think so anymore. Yeah. Right. So they're special. Even Bijan Robinson, I don't think he's really an 80 to the house type of guy. He's more of a 40 and 50 to the house to that break your ankles, incredible acceleration of the ball. But that's what makes this group very special in that manner.
Even Bijan's big run against the Bills, he broke the tackle. They didn't get it by him.
Exactly right. He didn't just run. That's
an amazing play.
And that's what was his longest run of his career.
Yes.
It's rare to see him actually do that. Exactly right. That's what I was referring to. Thank you.
Total tale of two games, different games between the Giants and the Eagles. When you exclude the quarterback runs between Week 6 and Week 8, the Eagles ran 13 times for 60 yards. They were averaging 1 yard before contact per rush attempt.
Right.
This time, Chris, in the rematch 2 weeks later, they ran 26 times for 256 yards. The biggest difference, though, is exactly what you just highlighted, 5.2 yards before contact per attempt.
Yes.
That basically means, like, you could put me back there and you're going to get four yards.
Just
maybe
dominant.
5.
Dominant.
Yeah.
Dominant. And I think, again, like I talked about, it's the element of the O-line going, wait, we can just fire off the ball a little bit and dominate and have a little attitude here. We're not waiting for the check. It's call it and run it plays like we've talked about with Philadelphia, right?
Yeah.
You know, screw the numbers. Oh, no, they have too many guys in there. We're just going, okay? I think there's that aspect right there. And then, as you've heard me say a million times, when the running back is in the I formation, he's going downhill, there's more ability to see cutback lanes and make cutbacks behind the line of scrimmage. If you're in the shotgun and your first move is to go sideways and catch a ball and get the ball 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage, when you're not coming downhill, right? It's hard to go, wait, I'm going to go left horizontally, get the ball. I'm not that deep in the backfield, and now you want me to see a cutback lane to the right? Yeah, no, negative, Ghost Rider. That's not going to happen. The pattern's full. The pattern's full. So that's where this is going to be better, and I guarantee Saquon's going to be a lot better if they continue to do this.
Why would a team or a quarterback be more hesitant or resistant to being under center?
I really don't know.
Because the numbers in this era are just jarringly low.
Right.
And in college, almost no one does it.
No one. I think that's the reason. I
Yeah.
think that's what it is. It's just so many quarterbacks aren't used to being under center anymore. And you kind of got to, break them in that way a little bit. So I think that's the big thing. Now, being in shotgun too, I think the other thing that benefits offenses is protection's a little easier that way. Yes, the quarterback is a little deeper when they do certain blitzes, right? Because the quarterback's a little deeper, if they blitz the A-gap and all of that, you can have a back pick them up, where if you're under the center, the back can't do that because you might hit the quarterback trying to get an A-gap blitzer, right? So there's things like that, the shotgun has some real value. But as we know, underneath the center, the really good offenses are running the ball that way. And I don't know if it's a quarterback thing or an offensive coordinator thing. Jalen Hurts, of course, does not have a lot of experience in it, but you can see underneath the center, he's damn good. And I think they would continue to do this. So I don't know if quarterbacks fight against it, but I think it's more about like coaches a little bit going, man, this guy's used to the shotgun. Let's keep him in it. It's a comfort zone thing, but I hope people stop doing it quite so much. I know that.
Jalen was asked about it after the game. I thought he had a pretty insightful quote. He said, I enjoy being under center and being able to complement things within our run game and find a flow. But ultimately, I think it's about finding a flow in what you do. It's not necessarily that you stick a guy under the center or you're playing from shotgun or you're in a pistol. It's about what you're doing when you're under center.
Yeah.
They mastered that.
And they mastered that. So let's go to the next phase of this conversation.
The play action.
The play action. Effect. Exactly right. So you're getting gashed on downhill runs, and what did they do off of some of that? They had what I call like the 49er play action pass pop game going. I call them little pop slants. That's how I was taught of them. But we're going to run the ball. We got to run out of these formations, and then we're going to have a few passes right off of it that look exactly like the run. And that's where you saw Devontae Smith open over the middle a few times in the football game, because they faked those runs and boom, he hits it. And the Giants linebackers in the second level are going, we're getting killed in the run. We're getting killed in the run. They're being told on the sideline, get downhill, fill the holes. And all of a sudden they fake that run and it's like, oh crap. Oh, man, I'm down here. Landon Dickerson, he's blocking me. I'm supposed to be in pass coverage, but I tried to fill the run hole. And now there's a huge gap behind it. And that was the other thing off of it that, to me, made it so much better. Do we have those pictures,
Yeah,
Pete?
we have some screenshots of the All-22. And Chris, they were effective when they did it. Jalen Hurts on the play-action attempts was 4 of 6, but for 63 yards. So basically, they're getting almost 11 yards an attempt on these.
Yeah, yep.
It's free passes.
I like that because here, you see on the left, all right, these two pictures on your left are the exact formations you see on the right. The one on your left is the run play, right? And then the point, it's a 4-yard run. We're not trying to like sit here and go, oh, look at the run. We're just trying to tell you, look at the left side, the left 2 pictures. That's the run play. Now think if you're a defense. Here's the right 2 plays. Oh, no. It's that same formation. They've been having success in these running formations, and now they throw a pass off of it, and you could see Devontae Smith wide open on that bottom right screen where it's like, oh, man, he catches the ball. Watch out. He's in space. Something big can happen. The other thing I like about these type of formations and these play-action passes, a lot of the times, too, they're going to present running lanes for Jalen Hurts. As teams get used to seeing this more and more, too, they're gonna fake the ball. Linebackers are gonna get better expecting it from Philadelphia. They're gonna fly out of there with their backs turned, and now Jalen's gonna be like, wait, I have all this protection. There's 7 guys in blocking for me. Okay, yeah, they got underneath Devontae Smith on the slant route here, but damn, I had a little time. Now a lane presented itself, and I'm gonna go run for 20 yards. And that's when Philadelphia just becomes annoyingly dangerous, and you're like, oh no, we can't stop them in anything. And they don't need much. Like I said, if they just do this stuff right here, they're going to be tough to defend.
So the funniest question to come out of this, you watch a game like this with no A.J. Brown, does it make you think anything?
Hey, you saw my text. I'm a believer that they should trade A.J. Brown. Let me say it off like this. If they think they can win the Super Bowl still without A.J. Brown, trade him. Trade him. Philadelphia, if you want to continue your dominance for the rest of this decade, that to me is the type of move that, hey, Philadelphia next year's draft, oh my gosh, they have this pick and that pick again. I mean, that's what we've been saying for 5 and 6 years now. To me, that's how they could stay ahead of the curve. I know Schefter came out on Sunday and said it's likely, quotations, okay, that they won't do it.
Always a caveat.
But I'm just going, wait, we didn't throw the ball to A.J. Brown the first 4 weeks of the year. They went 4-0. Here he is out of the lineup. They did fine. They have plenty of weapons, right? I love A.J. Brown. You know that. I think A.J. Brown is
a huge
freaking
piece for
awesome.
someone.
Exactly.
Like
and that's what I'm saying, too. We have some teams this year, and we're going to bring up another team, too, because I feel the same way with the Bears and DJ Moore. I'll just throw it out there right now. Yeah, to where I look at it and go, there's some teams that need some receivers this year. The Broncos, teams that we've talked about that are like, whoa, they could go to the Super Bowl. They're missing one weapon on the offensive side of the ball. And that's where I go, Eagles, if you want to continue this Howie Roseman dominance over the football world, that to me is a move they can make that can continue to set them up and put them in a spot to have young guys and draft well and continue this unbelievable cycle that Philadelphia has right now.
I think the Eagles operate without fear, and that's why they're such a good, well-run organization.
Right.
But do you think there'd be any fear of you won the Super Bowl with them last year, so if you trade them, you have to win the Super Bowl, or else everyone in your fan base is like, well, you shouldn't have traded A.J. Brown.
There's definitely going to be that fear. If they trade him to, let's just say, New England or Denver or Buffalo, and then they got to play him in the Super Bowl.
Oh, no.
And
he does what he does.
Then you're going to have to. It's okay. That's going to be the scary thing, and that's what they're going to have to figure out. That like I said, the big thing is, you don't want to. I'm not saying you risk the Super Bowl victory over this trade. If you as an organization, Howie Roseman, you go and talk to your coaches, everything. We know there's tension in the locker room between A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. It's undeniable. Anybody you talk to, doesn't matter. All right. If they feel like everybody can be on board and go, Nick Sirianni can go, I think we can win the Super Bowl still without him. I think we can. And the offensive coordinator says that, and the receiver coach says it, and Jalen Hurts says it. I wouldn't be shocked to see them make that type of move.
If any executive is playing with house money to do it,
exactly,
it's him.
Exactly.
Because if it doesn't work, you're not firing him.
Definitely not.
Like, you actually have the goodwill built in.
If it doesn't work, they're still probably going to go to the NFC Championship. It's like, okay. So, yeah, listen, that's why I say it. And I know how their brains operate a little bit out there, and they're not afraid of much, like you said. And it just not shock me to see that happen before the trade deadline.
We're going to take our last break. When we're back, we're going to rank and break down the best traditional rush offenses in the NFL right after this. All right, we've been hyping it up. The best traditional rushing offenses. A reminder to the homies, this is excluding the quarterback scrambles and more of, a little old school.
Running between the tackles, true run game, right? That's what we're looking at here. And it's interesting. I mean, I think as we've talked about a lot, we're seeing more and more of this in the NFL. This is becoming the new fad. I think that teams are getting away from, hey, let's get out of the spread a little bit. There's some real advantages to be had right now with big people running the football and the play action pass like we just talked about with the Eagles and a bunch of other teams. What do you think the 49ers have been doing all these years when they've been going to the NFC Championship game in the Super Bowl? The Detroit Lions the last few years and everything they've done that way, right? There's that aspect. So I think that's where everybody's trying to copy that a little bit. We see Tampa Bay. They're one of the better teams in football the last few years. They do that as well. And there's some great value. And like we always talk about, not only attitude for your football team helps your defense, you chew up clock, you do that. And the best way to get explosive plays in the game right now is off a play action pass.
It feels like the most surefire way to protect or develop your quarterback.
I think that's a fair statement.
The league is basically just everybody in an arms race to have a great quarterback.
Right.
But when you really count it, there's just not enough teams in the league that have that. So all the teams that don't, and even teams that do, look at the Bills over the years. The Bills have transformed into Josh Allen. Now it's like, no, the Bills are awesome running the football.
The Bills are awesome, right? Yeah. Like they're a top team running football that, yes, the quarterback has certainly helped out their stats, but they're going to make my top 5 as far as traditional run game and what they do. I would sit here and go, wait, they need to do that more. That's the statistics would bear that out too. That they're having more success than what their attempts in the running game are. And that's where, to me, I look at that and go, and I think that's what you're going to see. We saw that in Carolina from Buffalo, and I think you're going to see that going forward here as we move through as well.
So my number 5, Chris.
Yeah, okay.
How about the Carolina Panthers?
Okay, right.
And this was the one that surprised me the most when I made the list.
Yeah.
And I had about 7 different candidates for number 5.
Yeah.
But I went to the Panthers because, one, the circumstances that they're doing it with, they've been missing a ton of offensive linemen throughout the year.
No doubt.
They lost their highly paid running back for a stretch in Chuba Hubbard. Rico Dowdle looked better.
Right.
They are one of the rare teams in the NFL. They can just go man run scheme, punch you in the mouth, move you off the ball, and plow forward. Their running backs are averaging 4.7 yards per carry right now.
Right.
I've been blown away with what Dave Canales has been able to do in the run game, considering the limitations that he has on that roster.
Yeah, I hear you there. I totally hear you there. Carolina is definitely in my top 5. All right, so I'll just throw out like the teams that I have in here to me that are the most impressive that way. And then I'll give you my number 5 too. But Bills, Panthers, Colts, Lions, Commanders, Falcons, Broncos, right? I see you got Bears.
I have the Bears.
Yeah, maybe I should have put that in there too. They probably would have been just off my list right off of that. But it is damn good. It definitely is. I might be influenced actually by maybe Baltimore's game last week. I think number 5, I will go with the Broncos. Okay. I'm going to go with the Broncos number 5. Now, I'm not going to – I know maybe statistically, and let me make sure. Let me see where they are statistically. I know they're probably above that in there. They're the number 3 run offense in football. Okay. But I guess what I would say off of that is, I do think people worry about, hey, Sean Payton does a lot of other creative stuff in the pass game, and there's some benefits there to where I don't look at them quite the same as number 4, the Carolina Panthers, where I'll go for Carolina, where I'd go, Carolina can just line up and go, screw you.
And we're going to
run. And we're going to run. And even when the pass game doesn't work or not even that scary and Bryce Young not playing that well, they still go, screw you, we're going to run. So I think if right off here, right, I'm going to go Broncos 5 and I'm going to go Panthers 4 as we stand right now, okay? Then I'm going to go Bills 3, Lions 2, Colts 1.
Wow, we have the same top 3.
We have the same top 3.
We did this blindly.
Yes, we
didn't
did.
do this together.
Right.
I had it Panthers 5. The Bears were my surprise team at 4. Bills 3, Lions 2, Colts number 1.
Right.
At first, and it's funny how different they are. The Bills average 2.3 yards before contact, so I believe in the scheme of what they're doing. The Colts, the difference to me is they average 3.7 yards after contact.
Ooh.
They have a freak at running back
Yeah.
that is a nightmare to deal with, but that factors into this exercise.
Definitely.
Like Jonathan Taylor is a unique unicorn that makes your traditional run game special.
He really does. And they have everything in their run game, right? Every scheme you can imagine.
Personnel grouping.
They do it. They can keep you honest with a Daniel Jones run every now and then, but they don't overdo it that way. I agree with you totally there, 100%. Your Bears one, too, is interesting because they're probably another team that I would say, like Buffalo, to go, they need to run the ball more. The numbers would bear out that they need to run. They have better yards per attempt, better yards per game than the amount of rushes they have, which is down the list a little bit as far as attempts in general. And to me, when those things look like that, I go, no, those are stats that are telling you you're not running the ball enough. You're becoming a little too pass happy at times. And that's the same thing with Buffalo, right? Where we have Buffalo up there, and I sit there and go, yeah, Buffalo right now, 164 yards per game, okay? Oh, and now after last week, they actually are leading the NFL in attempts per game and running the football. They weren't that way before that. I'd like to see them continue along there. Honorable mentions, the Jets are not bad. Green Bay has a chance, I think, to get into this conversation as we go forward. The Eagles, of course, have a conversation or an ability to get in this conversation.
And what we just saw.
Right, if they continue to do that. I know the Chargers, they would have been probably up in this list if they could have stayed healthy in the run game. Is there anybody else we're missing right now?
I think a tough one to figure out can be the Rams.
Yeah, right. They're right.
The Rams are really good at giving their running backs room to operate. They're 3rd in the league in yards before contact per attempt.
Right.
Or 4th. Sorry, 4th. They're the Lions, Bears, and Bills are ahead of them. It's just that they're not as efficient as the top dogs.
That's right.
Which is fine. They can live that way. But
right.
Yeah. And Kyron's really good.
Kyron's really good.
We don't talk about Kyron the way we talk about,
No.
Jonathan Taylor.
Yes, right. Kyron's like an amazing, oh my gosh, another great 6-yard run, another great 8-yard run. There was nothing there. He still got 3 yards. That's where he is. But yes, Kyron, unlike the other guys, there's some plays every now and then you go, whoa, Saquon or Jonathan Taylor would have gone for 60 right there. He got 22, right? Like that's where he's not quite in the class of those top guys we're talking about. I talked about the Commanders, too. The Commanders, to me, I know they use the threat of the quarterback run a lot, but just the traditional run itself, I am impressed by it. I really am. There's no denying the results. When they give the running back the ball up the middle, they chop off yards in a big way. But, yeah, I think it's interesting. I think that's my top 5. I feel pretty good about it, actually.
Yeah, it's funny that we landed on the same top 3. It goes to show you how dominant those 3 are.
Yes, right.
And the Lions have just... I mean, the way the Lions have built it from an infrastructure standpoint. Like, they lose an offensive lineman, then they draft Tate Ratledge, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, okay,
no
here
problem.
he comes. Watch out.
Yeah.
That's just what they want. Road grader, push you out of the way, big body. That's what they're going to do. They're going to try to outsize you. Okay, yeah. I'm all right. I'm good with that one there.
The homies are weighing in.
Yeah.
The insurance Dan said if the Jaguars hadn't abandoned the run, they would still be in the top 3. What do you think of that?
I don't disagree with that. They're a team that we started off the year where I was going, man, the way they're running the football, I think teams have started to play, hey, we're going to stop the run. We don't think Trevor Lawrence is going to make all the right decisions all the time and make all the throws. We're going to stop the run first and see if he can beat us. I feel like teams have kind of transitioned to that the last few weeks playing the Jaguars, and that's why they've abandoned the run a little bit, because they're like, whoa, there's a lot of people at the line of scrimmage. We should be able to throw against this look. And, of course, they haven't been able to take advantage of that all the way.
Kanye Fishsticks 123 asks, who does better, Taylor on the Lions or Gibbs on the Colts?
Oh, gosh, that's amazing.
It's a pick your,
there's
there's no wrong.
Who's better, awesome or awesome,
right?
Gosh, I don't. That is a great question. I mean, whoo, man.
I think I'd take JT.
You take JT?
Yeah, I think people don't realize how fast JT is.
Yeah, I know.
Because he's so big.
He's so big. He's a little bit more of a long strider compared to Gibbs, who has incredible turnover. Man, I don't know.
It's not
easy. I feel like I'm leaning Gibbs a little bit.
He's amazing.
I feel like I lean Gibbs. So he's Team Taylor, I'm Team Gibbs, but I don't think either one of us would be mad if we had the other guy, all right?
Kanye Fishsticks also had another interesting question that we could run through quickly. Who are the hardest 5 running backs ever to tackle?
Ooh, hardest 5 ever. Wow. That's a
Well, Earl Campbell has to be
like just pure physical, right? Like we're talking like just pure downhill.
Like in a one-on-one
smashers,
situation,
right.
like a safety against a running back.
I mean, Earl, right off the bat of my head, Earl Campbell and John Riggins when I was growing up. I mean, John Riggins was like, oh, there's somebody in the hole? Yeah, have fun. And he'd run you over and get yards that way. Christian Okoye in his prime.
Man. Nigerian nightmare.
Right? The Nigerian nightmare certainly would be in that conversation. Man, this is a great question here. You're putting me on a spot in a big way.
We got some people weighing in, which I like.
Jerome Bettis in his prime would have been in that conversation.
Adrian Peterson.
What?
The chat said Adrian.
Without a doubt. Thank you, chat.
Kay Gemma and Dr. Ganja.
Don't let me choke under the pressure here because, yes, Adrian Peterson is unreal. Adrian Peterson is the rare guy that you'd go, he can run over people and he can run around you for 80 yards in 2 plays. I've never seen anybody like Adrian Peterson in my NFL career. You've heard me talk about it before. That he was one of a few players in my whole career where I was watching the game and going, these are NFL football players, and he's on a different level than the rest of all of us out here. There's something different about him. So, yeah, that would be one. Hey, listen, I think Emmett would fit in that, right? Like, I don't think Emmett's as good as Barry Sanders in that era, right? But as far as just tackling him, Emmitt Smith's contact balance was insanity in the membranity. So he's another one I would throw in that list. Walter Payton as well.
He's getting some love. So is Jim Brown.
Right, and of course Jim Brown. Walter Payton, I mean, you couldn't get lower than Walter Payton. I mean, his head would be striking the ground sometimes as he's getting low, getting underneath some guy. How about a guy I played with, Mike Allstott in his prime too? Yeah,
he's getting love too.
Okay, good. That's good to hear. Because in his prime, have fun trying to tackle him going through the hole. I know I'm probably missing a few guys.
There's one more guy getting a ton of love that we missed. Beast Mode.
What? Just tell me. Beast Mode. There you go. Duh. Exactly right.
I mean, one of the all-timers.
All-timer, no doubt about it. Beast Mode was the ultimate. Nothing was there. Still got 3 yards. Got hit at 5 yards. The guy bounced off him, and he still got 12 yards. Right? He's a special guy, and to me is a Hall of Fame type running back there.
The last one that I appreciate going a little deeper on a shout-out, Priest Holmes.
Oh,
got
man.
some love. I saw Priest Holmes play in person once, and I was like, wow.
Priest
like
could do
at
it
his
all.
best, there was it looked different than everyone else. And I grew up watching Curtis Martin all the time.
Well, yeah,
but when I saw Priest Holmes,
I mean,
I was
Ricky Williams in his prime too. I'd go. No one wanted to step in front of Ricky Williams. Nobody.
Yep.
Ricky was a freight train. Priest was a little bit more of could break your ankles and make you miss, but also had good contact balance. He wasn't going to run you over on a consistent basis. He wasn't like that. But if he got through the hole and got hit in the leg or on the side, he was going to bounce off you and get a whole bunch of different yards. That's for sure.
I could sit here and read these all day. I'll read you one more because this person wanted to add a sleeper. Adi Meta said LeGarrette Blount.
Oh yeah, he'd be another one.
Just a massive
human. A huge human being. I played with LeGarrette Blount in the Tennessee Titans before. At the start, he didn't get drafted, as we know.
Right.
Jeff Fisher did his homework on him, and he's like, I think this is a good kid. Yeah, he punched the guy in Boise State, but the kid in Boise State, we know, said something that deserved to be punched in the face about. So we bring him in. First day, we get in pads, right? Jeff Fisher can't wait. He's like, couldn't wait to full contact practice. Right. That's who he was. And he couldn't wait for LeGarrette Blount and his new toy. He couldn't wait. Because nothing like Eddie George, we should probably put in this conversation, right? Another guy was like, good luck. Ray Lewis was even like, oh man,
Derrick Henry before Derrick Henry.
Oh damn, right, exactly.
That's
right.
Eddie. That's
exactly
Eddie
right. So I think we're hitting all the big names.
Yep.
But just with LeGarrette Blount, I can remember we got into the team period. He wasn't the starter; he was the backup, and I got to give him the ball as the backup QB. And I remember the first time I gave him the ball, I turned around. And the defense was like blitzing in the gap. We were running the ball, and I was like, oh, man, he's screwed, right? Like we just had to call it and run a play. I turned around. The linebacker was on the ground already. He'd already run him over.
Yeah.
He got like 2 yards, and I remember looking at Jeff Fisher, and he's just like, I love this guy.
He was so excited.
He goes, run the same play.
When they're just blitzing you in practice.
He got like 3 yards in practice again, but he ran over like 2 people, and that was pretty funny for sure.
Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah, you like that K Gemma 89? Yeah, membranity is a word. When you come to
Hook 'em education.
Simms Unbuttoned, hook 'em, baby. We know how to talk some English over here. All right, everybody. All right, everybody. That's the pod. That's our live YouTube NBC Sports YouTube page podcast. You know where to find us. Subscribe, rate, review. Get at me and Connor on social media. All right. Questions. We love interaction. Tomorrow, another pod. We're breaking down a whole bunch of stuff. We got Texans O, Ravens D, and a little look ahead to Week 9. All right, everybody. Peace out. Enjoy your day. We'll see you tomorrow on Chris Simms Unbuttoned.